They should be able to judge the children. How do they respond? What is their body language? And how they talk with each other. What is their tone? How do they express themselves? Are they able to be positive? What decision both of them take at the end? What is your take on this? Because in the very beginning, as I said earlier, it is about making them experience and encounter. Now here I would exemplify. Usually when we talk about negative roles in the movies, it's not the positive or the heroic deeds that teach us many lessons, but in a movie, the negative role teaches us what we shouldn't do. So the moment you are able to make the children go through certain roles, and rest of the class can be given this worksheet. The two children are playing that role play, and after observing the role play, the children have to fill this. Say behavior attributes, the person's traits, behavior, body language, tone of voice, how he was talking, was he aggressive, submissive, or assertive? The effect of a person's behavior on others, what people think of him or her, effect of such communication on the relationship. So this way the children would be able to experience that if we become aggressive communicator, how would we be taken as? Or if we become assertive, how should we behave and how somebody feel about us? And if we remain submissive, how we would be taken as? So, and the last two lines given here, or these are the questions for the people's or the children's understanding. If I had to rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10 for being assertive, my score would be, it means they are able to reflect, they have self-reflection, that either I am an aggressive or submissive or assertive communicator, and if I want to be assertive, what should I do? And then the last question, which give them a lot of introspection, is my future plan for being assertive in the given situations. If I encounter in real life situation such kind of circumstances, how I would be trying to be assertive in my communication. So this is how role play can be an instrumental in bringing effectiveness in the life skill training. Now, these are certain activities which can be taken as for effective communication. It can be discussion on certain thing. You exchange ideas, bring them factual opinions, let them talk about large and small groups. Debate is a very, very important aspect where the children have to go through a lot of modulation, their voice. Role play, as I discussed earlier, brainstorming, free expression of ideas, what comes to you. You take any topic today in the class and you discuss. There can be storytelling, there can be dramatization, case studies. What is your opinion about imaginative stories, true stories? Certain can be taken in the class. Miming, acting without words by use of gestures, sign. It helps. Miming helps a lot in your non-verbal communication. You are able to sharpen the skill of non-verbal communication, expression, your movement, physical movement, body language, your facial expression, gesture, everything falls in. Poetry and recitals, question answers, all these can be very, very instrumental in bringing in effective communication. There can be certain games, working in small groups and pairs, simulation, songs and dances, demonstration. All these are certain things which can help for a teacher to be very good in sharpening student skill. Now, I am ending up. Before I invite the question from all of you, there are certain principles of effective communication. First of all, what you want to communicate, you should be very clear about your ideas. So clarity of ideas is very important. Then comes coherence and cohesion. Coherence, we talk about the connectivity of ideas. One idea which you are communicating should give birth to the another idea, that is coherence. And cohesion is the structure, the sentence structure or grammatical structure of what you say. So coherence and cohesion is another quality or the principle for effective communication. Appropriate non-verbal communication. It should not be exaggerated non-verbal communication. Sometimes we exaggerate when we express our non-verbal communication. It should not be exaggerated. It should not be lowered down. It should be very, very balanced to make your communication effective. Using appropriate language. Now, gone are the days when we thought of that when we need to be very good or effective communicator, we should use flowery language and we should use heavy words which cannot be, under comprehension of the people. But you should be looking into your audience and or the listeners, and appropriately you should choose your language. Then principle of attention. It's very important. Your communication should be attention grabber. It should attract the attention of the people when they listen to you. That is another quality or the principle of effective communication. Balancing, principle of balancing, I've already told you. It is not being very aggressive, it's not being submissive, it is actually balancing the whole act. Then principle of adequacy. Use of adequate material, quantity and quality. Two things I am giving you under adequacy. The adequate material in quantity and adequate quality. Both are required for effective communication. Then principle of formal and informal communication. When you talk to your seniors, when you talk to your elders, how formal and what kind of language you should use, you should be aware about it. When you talk to your friends, what kind of informal language or the communication you make, you should be aware about it. Very important. Now, under feedback, principle of feedback is what message or what communication you want to convey to the people. Has it been conveyed? You should have a feedback as a communicator. At the same time, you should also take a feedback. Where do I need to improvise to make my communication stronger? So these are 9 principles of effective communication. And these are certain measures to overcome the barriers to effective communication. As I clarify the ideas before communication. Before you communicate somebody, you should be clear about yourself. What ideas do I want to convey? What I have to say? I have to say 1, 2, 3 things. Jot down your points. Communicate according to the need of receiver. You should not go astray to the topic. What you need to concentrate is, this is what I want to convey as you chalk down in the first point, and then be concentrated, be focused, be attentive on that as per the need of the receiver. Be aware of the language, tone, and content of message. What you want to convey, your language you should be aware what kind of language I need to use, your tone, your pitch of volume, your rising tone, your lowering tone, your mix match tone has to be very, very appropriate. Bring variation. You need not to be continuously talking in a one tone. To break monotony, you should have variations in your communication. Convey things of help and value to listeners. You should give something which is valuable to the listeners. It should be actually able to convey the support which you are giving to them. This is another aspect of effective communication. You should ask for proper feedback, how I improve, and where I could not be that effective as a communicator, that would help you to improve. You need to be communicating about what the present situation is and what you want to convey for future as well. Then follow-up communications. You want to convey something and there is something which is need to be done afterward. You should have a right approach in mind. And last but not the least, you need to be a very, very good listener to be a good communicator. So this is how we can work upon the communicative abilities, effective communication amongst the children. So now we are left with 10 minutes more. So now I invite the questions from all of you. We could discuss in this session about communication, effective communication. We were able to discuss how we can be good communicators, differentiation between assertive, submissive, and aggressive communicator, and how as a teacher we can create an ecosystem where the children can be given an opportunity to enhance their life skills. So any questions from your side? Yes, Neetu Singh. we should be observant. You should be observation skill is a very, very important aspect for a teacher. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to put one question.
Yes,
how to make a submissive communicator to be assertive?
As I said, ma'am, you need to create certain platforms. The activities which I've shared with you, start with the activities which are interesting to that particular child or to the group of children. Ask them, would you like to go for a role play, or would you like to play a drama or something? So once you're able to see the interest of the children, give them a lot of exposure. The moment they are able to reach to that exposure, you will see a lot of change happening amongst those submissive communicators. So gradually, this is a process.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, need to sing. Undue criticism is not required. Okay. Any other question?
Sir, if we become overly critical of the students, sometimes even that can hamper their questioning skills.
Absolutely. You need to give them a platform of free expression. That's very important, Madam Neetu. I agree with you. We need to give them an exposure where they have no fear in mind to question. They should be inquisitive. This inquisitive skill can only be, enhanced when we give them a platform of free expression. You're very right.
And I also believe that we as teachers should inculcate good reading habits in the children so that they can have more critical analysis, so that they just don't, take the other person, what the other person is saying as right.
Yes, absolutely. Very right. Very right. Any other question? Thank you, Priyaji. Thank you so much. Any other question in anybody's mind?
Well, many children, they become submissive because of the peer pressure. Because those aggressive children overtake them. So they feel shy to ask questions in the class. It's all because of peer pressure, I think so.
And for that, you as a teacher need to be very, very proactive in your approach. Of course, we need to give them a free expression platform to the children, but as ma'am stated, there can be children who can bully over. So you need to be very, very observant in your class that something should not go out of control.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha ji. Thank you, Harmanpreet. Thank you, Amandeep. Attendance sheet would be shared very soon. You can raise your question if you have in mind, please. Thank you, Kirti ji. Meera ji, thank you so much. Pooja ji, thank you. Priyanka, Kanika, thank you everyone. Prab ji, thank you. Yes, the link has been shared for your attendance and your feedback. Please, you can click on the chat box and you can put up your attendance there. Thank you, Pooja ji. Thank you. Link for attendance and feedback is there. Yes, Anjana ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other question I would like to pick up? Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Consul, ma'am. In the chat box, there is availability of form, Google form, which you can take up to give the feedback and to mark your attendance. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Janu. Thank you, ma'am. Janu Watts. Thank you, Manju, ma'am. Thank you, Jewel, ma'am. Ji, thank you. Thank you, Sabraj, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Really, it's a wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you, Urvashi, ma'am. Thank you, Avinash, ma'am. Thank you so much. Parul ji, thank you. Thank you, Upasana. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dipti. Thank you. Thank you, Manu Thakur ji. Thank you. Vijinder ji, thank you. Kavita ji, thank you. Simi, thank you. Thank you, Harpreet. Sarita ji, thank you. Yeah, attendance sheet is, ma'am, you just go to the chat box and scroll up a bit, and you would see the link given there. Thank you, Jitendra sir. Thank you so much. Mrs. Kaur, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Harpreet ma'am. हाँ, उज्जवल मैम ने डाल दिया दोबारा से, आप देख सकते हैं चैट बॉक्स में है. थैंक यू चारू जी, थैंक यू. थैंक यू घोष जी, थैंक यू. एलिजबेथ, थैंक यू. एकता सिंह, थैंक यू. नवनीत जी, थैंक यू सो मच. Tanu ji, thank you so much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am, please tell.
Does we have to sign in Google account for filling this form?
No, ma'am. Just click on that link and automatically the Google form would open up. It carries your attendance and the feedback on the session.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Thank you, Pooja ji. Thank you, Meena ma'am.
Vivek sir, if you want to exit, you can. I'm there.
I was just asking. I was going to ask. Okay, thank you everyone for joining, and thank you COE Chandigarh, ma'am Anjali, and ma'am to you also for helping and supporting all of us for learning. Neema ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, can we stop the meeting now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.